Hi everyone and welcome back. Hi Mum.
Hi darling.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's good. So today we're going to cook another vegetarian dish, which is Channa Dhal. And
Chickpeas.
Chickpeas. So I normally cook red lentils, and the reason for that is it's very quick and easy, isn't it Mum?
Very.
And great for if you're time poor and you just want to cook the meal and serve. But with the Channa Dhal, this is it here, I've actually, under Mum instructions, soaked it overnight. And that's to speed the cooking process, isn't it Mum? So that's soaked, I just covered it in water and then drain the water, and then it's ready to go. So we will start. First we'll heat our pot to medium high, and as always we have our onion and garlic chopped and our curry leaves, and you can add, the great thing with any type of dal is you can add any type of vegetable.
Yeah.
Isn't it Mum?
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, and Mum was saying to me before, when she cooked dal, it was a great way to avoid wasting vegetables you had in the fridge, and so she would use whatever was in the fridge. So today I've got spinach and green beans. I actually thought I had some carrots in the fridge but don't, so it's just going to be those two veggies and pop some tomato in as well. So we'll do our 2 tablespoons of mustard oil.
People can use any oil they like.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so any oil that suits.
Because everybody may not have mustard oil.
Yes, so as Mum said, Mum's preference is mustard oil, as you probably know from the previous shows. Olive oil, if you might like to cook with canola oil or even ghee.
Yeah.
So we'll just swirl that around. And we will start with our basics. So about how much mustard seeds?
Just a pinch.
Just a pinch, okay.
Well, half a teaspoon, quarter teaspoon. I normally use pinch.
Like you pinch, yes.
I don't know how much it weighs.
Yeah, we'll just do a little pour. And then the cumin seeds. So I do equal quantities. And as you start cooking Indian food, I think is that you'll find out what spices you prefer, and fenugreek, a few of those. And that's when we add our curry leaves. Yeah.
Already smelling nice.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. So I'm not sure if you can hear the seeds starting to pop. And we don't want to have the heat too high because the seeds will start to burn, isn't it Mum? So I always use crushed dried chilli because I just find it combines nicely in the dish. But you can use any type of chilli you like, whether you like fresh chilli, but your preference is dried chilli, isn't it Mum?
Yeah. It gives a better flavour.
So I put in there, probably about 2 tablespoons.
Yeah? Ooh.
So because the seeds have now started to begin to pop, we're going to add in our garlic and chilli. Oh, sorry, garlic and onion, yeah. Garlic and onion. And try not to get those beans in. And the beautiful thing with mustard oil is it just gives the
such a nice
aroma, yes, and the colour too. So I'm not sure if you can see, but it's really just beautiful. Not that you'll see it when you eat the dal, but it just covers the onions beautifully. The smell is amazing, and even though you have the mustard seed, it's the mustard oil, it does give it that really lovely,
authentic flavour.
yes, and intense flavour. So we'll just let those sizzle away. And this is actually 2 cups of Channa Dhal. And it does, they do swell a little bit once you soak them. So we will be adding those shortly.
Like you kids, they wouldn't know what Channa Dhal is.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Mum's just saying if you don't know it's Channa Dhal, it's like chickpea. But if you go to I'm actually not sure if it's in supermarkets, but if you go to Indian shops, they have it in there, along with many other types of dal. What would be your favourite dal, Mum? Out of red, lentil, chana?
Yeah, we used to call arhar dal, I don't know what you call that, little, this big bean,
Yeah.
we used to call arhar.
I'll get you some water.
Yeah, no, I can't think of English name for that.
Is it something that you bought here in Australia? Or this is when you were growing up in Fiji?
Well, it grows in Australia, but I was growing, they grew in Fiji. Yeah, they grow in Australia because now.
So I'll have to have, next time I'm in the Indian shop, I will have a look for ahar.
Yeah.
Beans.
Arhar dal.
Dal.
It's so easy to grow, you can grow it in your backyard.
Yes, but I don't have a backyard because I live in an apartment, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
But you used to grow it, didn't you, Mum?
Yeah, plenty.
And I remember the beans, and then you pick the
seeds and then fry it.
which would then be like this. So, Mum, that's coming along really nicely. So I've got that on medium heat. So just to recap, and I will put the recipe on there, I've used 2 tablespoons of mustard oil or your favourite oil. I've used about 1 teaspoon of black mustard seeds, a teaspoon of cumin, and probably half a teaspoon of fenugreek. And then I've added your chilli of choice. Now I will add the turmeric.
Teaspoon, but anyway. That'll do it.
Yeah, I love my turmeric. So, and again, so many wonderful properties in turmeric. So we'll give that a stir. And just making sure it's all on the base of the pan. And I'm just going to add a little bit of curry powder, just a teaspoon. Yeah, because it's just nice to.
Yeah.
I'm only sprinkling here. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's only about a tablespoon. I'll do about 2 teaspoons.
Already smells nice.
And so we're just cooking the turmeric, curry powder, and all the other seeds, so they just have that really lovely aroma. And don't forget, Mum, you have to remind me to add salt later.
Did you put curry leaf?
I put curry leaves.
Oh, okay,
yes.
that's all right.
Yeah. So that's cooking really well.
Then I think you can put the
dal in?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to add this in.
Yeah.
And to that we'll add, which I've probably got to measure it, because I'm notorious for not measuring. So that's 2 cups of water at the moment. The other thing, actually I do need to add more water to that. The other thing that I didn't mention is with all lentils, Mum, is that we need to wash them.
You did wash, didn't you?
I did, but I just didn't mention it before. And the reason that we wash it is just to remove any impurities that might be in there as our seed. So to add, it's generally double the amount of water to the amount of...
Chickpea takes longer to cook.
Yes. So I've actually added 4 cups of water there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the heat.
Turn it high.
Yeah, and I will add the salt now, Mum.
Yes, that'd be good.
So I'll just do half a tablespoon for now. And I'll give that a stir, and then what we'll do is we'll just let that boil. And the thing with the Channa Dhal, Mum, is that it's a very different consistency to the red lentils.
Yeah, because this is thicker and more body.
Yes, and it's quite creamy as well. That's what I find.
Yeah.
So
and it's tastier as well.
Yeah, it's a different flavour.
Different texture.
I'll just give that another. So I just need to put that on high.
Yeah, I think you ought to.
And the thing with dal that I've certainly learned is you really should never walk away from it for too long, because
Can overflow.
Yes, and the dal can actually dry up because it actually absorbs quite a bit of water. So if you are in a rush, as I often am, I'll turn the heat up really high, and then I'll run around and do some other things, and then I come back to it and I have to, the liquid's dried up and I have to add more water. So so that's good. And Mum, how often would you have had dal growing up in Fiji?
Every day for lunch.
And
that was traditional.
Right, so you'd have your dal, rice.
And the side dishes, chutney, pickles, and all the little knickknacks with it.
Yes, all the sambals.
Yeah, sambals, yeah. So it was very interesting.
Yes, and that was like a staple for you.
Yeah, lunchtime is a special food.
And then for people who ate meat, then they would have like a lamb or goat curry at night.
Lamb or chicken.
Or chicken, yes.
Or fish. Plenty fish in Fiji.
Yes. But that was the main staple. And I think I just remember growing up with dal and wanting to eat it every day. And Mum would say, well, there's actually a lot of other great tasty things, but it is very nutritious for you as a staple. And you can even, if you don't want the carb with the rice, you can just have it on its own. And that's
as a soup.
As a soup, yes. And I don't know if you saw the last video we made with the rasam. It was the first time I actually cooked that, and if you like spicy, tasty, hot food, you must try making that rasam. It is probably the easiest thing that you've taught me to cook, Mum.
Yeah. And
the flavour is like, wow. It's probably the tastiest Indian food I've ever had. And I think Mum was very happy that I finally made it. Yeah, no, that's very good. Very tasty, and it's very practical, and also it keeps very well. And I know what I did was I just had kept chopped coriander in the fridge, and I just heat a little bit of that. And I actually had it as more like an entree, or in the evenings, if I didn't feel like anything too hot, too heavy, I would just have that on its own. And it was just beautiful. And you could have it with rice, like Mum said, but I had it on its own, and it was just beautiful. But the flavour, if you like tamarind or haven't tried it, you must give it a go. It was just incredible. The flavours in my mouth were just going crazy. And beautiful. Yeah, so thanks Mum for recommending that one that I cooked, because it's really lovely to be able to share great recipes with everyone. So this is boiling away really nicely, and because we soak the chickpeas, it will be quicker to cook. It will be quicker.
feel one, see how it's going. Is it getting soft or not? One see.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I just broke one on the
Oh,
side.
that's good.
And it is.
Because soaking it makes half the
time. Yes, yeah. And that's the other thing. I'm always after things that are very quick and easy because it gives you less reluctancy to cook if you think it's going to take a long time. And Mum, when you were teaching your cooking classes for 25 years at TAFE here on the coast, Gold Coast, did you favour one type of dish more than the other? Did you find the students liked certain dishes opposed to others, the vegetarian opposed to the meat dishes?
Well, at that time, they liked dal, they were not used to it. And they also liked vegetarian because they're sick of eating meat.
Right.
So the vegetarian food was very popular at the classes.
Yeah, okay.
Because I had, when I had vegetarian classes, that was full.
I see.
Yeah, so apparently it was favoured.
Right. So Mum used to have 2 basic cooking classes a week, 2 vegetarian and 1 advanced. So the people who were in the basic could then move up to advanced. But she was very strict, so you didn't move to advanced unless you passed the test with Mum. That was at the end of the semester. You'd have a big cook up, and and instead of you teaching them, they'd be cooking, and Mum would then critique them on their cooking skills.
It was fun, really.
And actually, next time when you we do another show, I've got a huge folder of all your newspaper articles. Mum was very much a social life in the Gold Coast Bulletin, and they'd often go to her cooking classes and do a feature on Indian cooking, because I guess, you know, back in those days it was still, people were still being introduced to all those great flavours. And
you got that?
Yes, yeah. So I'll get that. It was really, it's really good. And there's some actually in your book too, Mum, that of you in the classes and all having your lovely end of semester cook-offs.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, all different nationalities come, you know.
And who out of the male and female students were the better cooks? Be honest.
Yeah, I think the male were better. Because they were more, you know, authentic somehow.
More precise.
I like the male.
More inquisitive?
Huh?
More inquisitive?
Yeah, they were very good. Yeah, they were more detailed.
More detailed, yes.
Yeah.
So that's probably, you know, I guess traditionally more left brain, more analytical, wanting to know.
Yeah, no, they were very good. I love the male students.
That's great, yes. Yeah, good. But because you had quite a mixture, didn't you?
Yeah.
It wasn't just, believe it or not, even back in those days, for all the 25 years, it was actually quite an equal mix of male and
female, yeah.
And that was really great dynamics in the kitchen as well, wasn't it, Mum?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that many people would want to learn Indian cooking.
But it was so popular. Well, you know, 25 years you did it for, so obviously it was...
Even the director's wife came and did.
Wow.
Yeah. Then he ended up coming with his kids.
Really? Gosh. So, Mum, I'm just thinking, with the timing of all of this is looking really good.
You can put the beans now.
Okay, I'll put the beans in now. It's bubbling away. And again, if I had carrot, I actually would put carrot in there because it's a really pretty dish. And
whatever you have, you can put it in.
Yeah, capsicum. What else?
Yeah. Carrot, capsicum, what do you call it, celery.
Oh, celery, yes.
If you have zucchini, you can put it in. Whatever. It's no,
Yes, no rules.
whatever you have in the crisper.
Put in, yes, yeah. And that's, and I guess for me, I'm very aware of wastage, and sometimes I can forget about veggies in there, and then they end up in the bin. So I'm just trying to buy as I use, but I should have checked with the carrots. So, but it's a really, the thing about Indian food is it's so colourful, isn't it, Mum? And especially once you put your samples in, or we're going to put the tomato in, so that'll add a bit of red in it, which I haven't got the carrots, but it's very full of colour, isn't it, Mum?
It is. Yeah, I mean, if you had a coriander or parsley or something, you put it in, and to give the green effect as well.
Yes.
And it is very colourful and tasty dish.
So what I'll do, I shall just start to cut my tomatoes up. I always use truss tomatoes. I just love them. I do have a little tomato tree growing there because Mum kept saying I should grow one, so I have, and it's very small. It doesn't have any tomatoes on it yet, but there's always hope that they will come.
I'm sure it will grow.
So I'm just going to cut these tomatoes up, and it's really just chopping them. You don't have to be too fussy. That's the other thing too, I think, with Indian food is you don't have to be too precise.
No, because it all mix up,
Yes, yeah. But look at the beautiful colour of them. I just trust tomatoes.
Very nice, yes.
It's the next best thing, isn't it, Mum, if you can't grow your own?
No, that's right. I mean, one thing is cherry tomatoes grow well. You can grow that here.
Yes. I can't remember what, I actually didn't plant any.
Get one from there, from the shop, and you put one cherry tomato bush, and you see how it will grow so well on your balcony.
Well, it's quite interesting because I didn't actually plant that tomato tree. It just came up, so I don't know. I must have grown one in the past, and I had a pot that was empty, and out of nowhere it's just come up. So that's we'll wait and see what happens. What sort of tomato? There could be a concoction of tomatoes in there. So this is cooking away, bubbling away. And I think I just need to add a little bit more salt. I can just.
Well, why don't you taste it first? You know that?
Yeah, I can just tell.
Okay.
I added half a tablespoon, so that would be 1 tablespoon. Now I just think for the quantity. That's just looking absolutely beautiful. I'll show you one. This is very hot, but.
Oh yeah, it's looking great. One thing, electric takes longer.
It does, yeah. So
with the gas,
much quicker, yeah. So Mum's a big fan of
I'm electric girl.
electric. No, a gas
girl.
Yes, gas girl. Yeah, you love your gas, Mum, and it is. But I don't have the luxury of having a gas.
And gas tastes better.
Does it?
I think. Maybe my imagination.
Yeah, maybe. So this is just really great. And
if you want to cook quicker, you can mash it a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Because the thing about the dal that I find is that it's actually it's holding its shape, but it is actually soft. So it looks a lot harder than what it is. And then the last thing that I'm going to add in is, or the second last thing rather, is I might add the tomatoes in now, Mum.
Yeah. Is it soft?
Yes, yeah.
Then you can add.
So I'll add those in.
That gives it a nice flavour.
And then I will add the only other thing I have to do is the baby spinach, but that's very soft.
Yeah. You can put it in.
Okay.
Because tomato is soft,
you have a preference for kale or silver beet, you can use that. I just use the baby spinach because I find it's very quick and easy. I eat a lot of eggs, so I use it in my omelettes. It's a very soft leaf, and also if I'm just having a salad, it just is really easy to mix in with my other salad or lettuce leaves. So I might just, do I need to add more water, Mum? Or
Sure.
that?
Yeah.
Add a bit more water?
Yeah, a cup of water.
Okay, so I'll just add another cup of water. So that's going to be, so 4 cups to start with, and then 1 more. And it really does soak up the water, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Because when it cooks, soaks up.
So that's bubbling away. What I'll do is I'll just remove these and I'll get our serving dish out. And with this dish you can certainly do your sambals. I love Rata, which is just
yogurt and whatever you put in, salt, pepper, and onion, garlic, chili.
And I like to grate a bit of cucumber in it.
Oh yeah, cucumber is a very good at onion.
And so that's what I really love to have with my dal. Particularly the red lentils. This one's, you'll see, it's quite a creamy texture and just really quite different to the red lentils that I always eat. But that's really nice to
this
have.
This one has a body.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's a lot fuller. So you could have your tomato, onion, mint with a bit of olive oil and chili sambal. You could have your Rata, which is the Greek yogurt, cumin, garlic, and a bit of cucumber grated into it. Or you can just have it plain with rice. That's another way to have it. I think this is absolutely looking fantastic.
Oh yeah, okay.
And ready to go. So what I'll do, I shall get my ladle and I will turn it off. Still sizzling away. And I'm so glad you also recommended that I cook the Channa Dhal, Mum, because it's really, it's nice to have a bit of variety.
It is, and also it's a different taste, And good to cook different things.
It is.
Yeah, it looks good.
So that's it there. I hope you can see okay. That's your Channa Dhal, and you'll just eat that with rice and
or the flat bread
and any sambal that you wish to. I have had the sambal recipes demonstrated on earlier videos, so please have a look at those. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And until next time, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and bye for now.